I'm Maya Chen, 26, and in my family, I was always the invisible daughter. While my brother Daniel got standing ovations for his medical school achievements, I was the one who quietly kept everything together. A talented photographer with my own growing business. But to my parents, I was just background noise. Mom and Dad would beam with pride whenever Daniel walked into a room. Our future surgeon, they'd say, their voices dripping with admiration. Meanwhile, my award-winning photography work was dismissed with a wave. When are you getting a real job, Maya? The words cut deeper each time. But I kept trying. When their restaurant in Portland was hemorrhaging money 2 years ago, guess who swooped in to save it? Me. I designed their entire brand identity, shot all their promotional photos, managed their social media, and even invested my life savings, $15,000, to keep them afloat. The transformation was incredible. Customer traffic tripled. Their Instagram went from 200 followers to 12,000. Food bloggers started featuring them. I worked 16-hour days for months, shooting, editing, posting, believing this would finally make them see my worth. But when the restaurant became profitable again, they handed management to Daniel. He has business sense, Mom said, not even looking at me. You're just creative. Creative. Like it was a disease. Fast forward to last month. Daniel announces his engagement to Rebecca, a fellow med student. Immediately, I'm assigned as the unofficial wedding planner. Not asked, assigned. Maya will handle everything, Mom declared at Sunday dinner. She's good with artsy stuff. So I dove in. Spent weeks scouting venues, meeting vendors, designing invitations. I put down $8,000 of my own money for deposits because they, temporarily, couldn't cover costs. Every detail was perfect, from the vintage lace table runners to the custom photo booth I designed. But Daniel had bigger dreams. 3 days before the wedding, he cornered me at the venue. The flowers look cheap, he said, barely glancing at the arrangements I'd spent hours perfecting. And this photographer you hired? Get someone better. Someone who actually knows what they're doing. The photographer was my mentor, one of the most respected wedding photographers in Oregon. But Daniel wanted someone more prestigious. Also, he continued, scrolling through his phone, Rebecca wants those ice sculptures from that viral TikTok. And upgrade the champagne. Make it Dom Pérignon. I stared at him. Ice sculptures would cost $3,000. The champagne upgrade? Another $4,000. I'd already maxed out my credit cards. Daniel, I can't. I've already covered more than I should have. He cut me off with that condescending smile I'd seen 1,000 times. God, Maya, it's my wedding. Stop being so selfish. That night at dinner, when I tried to explain the budget constraints, Mom's face twisted with disappointment. You know what your problem is, Maya? You've never learned to prioritize what matters. Dad nodded slowly. Daniel's worked hard for this moment. Don't ruin it because you can't handle responsibility. The final blow came from Mom. Honestly, Maya, maybe it's better if you just don't come to the wedding at all. You'll probably just find something to complain about anyway. The room went silent. Daniel smirked into his wine glass. Rebecca looked uncomfortable but said nothing. I felt something break inside me. Fine, I said quietly, standing up. You're right. I won't be there. I left that night and made some calls. See, here's what they didn't know. I hadn't just planned Daniel's wedding. I had created it. Every vendor was my contact. Every arrangement existed because of my relationships in Portland's creative community. The venue. I'd shot 3 weddings there. They gave us their best rate because of me. First call. The florist. Sarah, I need to cancel Daniel's order. Yes, I know it's last minute. I'll pay the cancellation fee. Second call. The photographer. Marcus, I'm so sorry, but they want someone else. Keep the deposit. Third call. The caterer. The Chen wedding is off. They'll find someone else. One by one, I pulled every thread I'd woven. But I didn't stop there. Remember that restaurant I'd saved? The one where Daniel was now manager. I made another call. Hi, this is Maya Chen. I need to discuss my investment in the restaurant and my ongoing consulting contract. You see, they'd never formally bought me out. Legally, I was still a partner. And that social media presence I'd built? All those accounts were registered under my business email. I changed every password. The wedding day arrived like a perfect storm. Daniel and Rebecca showed up to a venue with no flowers, no photographer, and no food. The replacement vendors they'd hastily called wanted payment up front. Money they didn't have because they'd already paid me. But the real masterpiece? The restaurant. Without their social media presence, online orders stopped. The Instagram account with 12,000 followers now displayed a simple message: account temporarily unavailable. Their reservation system, which I'd built and managed, went offline. Within hours, they were losing hundreds of dollars in cancelled bookings. Daniel called me 17 times. I didn't answer. Mom left voicemails that escalated from pleading to furious. Maya, what have you done? Fix this right now. I didn't fix anything. Instead, I used my network. Posted on Portland photography forums about vendors who'd been stiffed on payments. Word spreads fast in our community. Within days, it was impossible for them to book anyone decent without paying massive upfront fees. The restaurant, hemorrhaging money and reputation, lasted 6 weeks before closing permanently. 3 months later, I'm thriving. My photography business has doubled. Turns out, vendors respect someone who stands up for themselves. I've moved to Seattle, working with high-end clients who value my creativity. Last week, I got a message from Rebecca. The wedding had been postponed indefinitely. Daniel's reputation in their medical school social circle was damaged. Apparently, stories about how he treated vendors had spread. Mom and Dad lost their retirement investment when the restaurant failed. They tried to sue me, but their lawyer laughed them out of the office. Everything I'd done was perfectly legal. Daniel. He's working double shifts at a clinic outside Portland, trying to rebuild his savings. His arrogance finally met reality. The best part? At a photography conference last month, I met someone, a kind, successful gallery owner who sees my work as art, not just artsy stuff. Sometimes people ask if I feel guilty. I don't. They taught me I was invisible, forgettable, disposable. I simply proved them right. But on my terms. When you tell someone they don't matter, don't be surprised when they stop making things matter for you. What would you have done? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts on setting boundaries with family. The invisible daughter isn't invisible anymore. And they'll never forget the day they realized exactly how much they needed what they'd always taken for granted. Remember to like this video if you enjoyed the story, and subscribe for more real-life drama and justice stories. Your support means everything.